Good boy here. Let's go.
By moving towards you more on the bean field, you're thinking, oh, more likely that they'll fly right over me.
Yes.
Oh, what's this?
Oh, that's a dove.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was not. Was it really?
Oh, yeah, that was a big problem.
Jeff, instead of what is this, just start
That was
shooting.
too far.
That was
Absolutely,
a
that was
much
too far.
easier shot, right? That was shootable.
I don't understand what's wrong with 20 yards.
Hey, we got to get kills. So the next bird that comes by, I'm going to shoot it.
No matter what.
So tell me not to if I shouldn't shoot it.
Oh, Mojo's like down. Oh, no. Out front. Too far.
Look, man, let him fly and birds ain't dying.
Hey, crawl. He said crawl. Hey, crawl. No, I'm not going to crawl.
Is that it? It does kind of look like one. I don't think so, though. This was dumb, wasn't it?
So is your plan to look like you're going skiing just from the chin up, or no?
It's not at all what we planned to say.
That's not what we scripted.
No, in the shade, he said.
In the shade. Did the glasses keep the water out of your eyes?
Oh. What is that?
So up on
Facing
this.
that way, and then we'll put one this way so we're visible from two directions.
Okay. So you want me to aim over there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How good do you think this pigeon's gonna bring him in?
That's the same as the dove.
Yeah, that's true. So like here?
Yeah, but face him.
This way?
Yep.
Okay. That battery's from 2 years ago, so I'm glad it still works. I've never seen a bird more frantic. Oh, with a weird flap on his back. I'd fly into that. I bet there's some tasty corn around here.
You can see that there's all the corn still on
Yeah.
top.
I saw there's a corn cob right there.
Yep.
All right.
So it's dove head.
Nice.
Bird. Oh, no.
You mean that bird that's clearly not a dove that's been up there for 5 minutes?
You know what I don't like about dove hunting, I've learned, even though we like never do it, is like everything for a second at least looks like a dove. So then you try and tell your friends that there's a dove, and then you tell them and they're like, it's not a dove, you idiot. But then if you don't say anything once one flies by, you're an idiot then too.
Is that so, Bono?
What's with the Bono? What is Bono?
It's the lead singer from U2. He wears those kind of glasses.
Oh.
You look like him.
How old are you? Your references are all like ancient.
The same age as you?
That's what I'm concerned about. You think because you grew up with cable, you're so cool.
Listen, everyone who ever has gotten an iPhone gets whatever U2's newest album is. The fact that you don't pay attention or take the time to delete it.
I listen to 3 singers and nothing more.
Yeah, but I don't have culture.
You have culture, just not good culture.
What are the 3?
Post Malone, Granger Smith, and Bob Marley.
Katy-
Bob Marley's full of culture.
Katy Perry.
Gwen Stefani. Those are pigeons, right?
Yeah, there's pigeons over there.
They're legal to shoot, yeah?
You ask it like it's a question. We already know they can. He said it 5 times. Call him.
It's working. They're turning.
Oh, no, Finch.
There's something over there. I think that's more pigeons.
It's a mallard. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Out of season jokes aren't funny.
here to just over the hill, like 60 yards, plowed, and it was just nonstop. It was crazy.
Can we go there next?
I'm sure yesterday it was great too. That's what we always get. You guys should have been here yesterday. Sure thing.
This is like the one day of the year we haven't gotten doves. This is weird.
It's not.
But you don't even see any flying anywhere. There's none on wires.
Yeah, there was a ton on wires when we came in.
Big group of nothing. We'll make a pigeon episode. I don't care. Today's tactic
I'm not even sure those are pigeons over there now.
Group shooting sky rats.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna change my choke tube.
Farmers love you when you do that, though.
And then because I changed my choke tube, they're gonna come in. This is God helping us. You're welcome, everybody. What? I shot that bird like 3 times. He's got it. Yeah, he's like hurt, right?
He's down.
I literally, did you see me pelt him?
Yeah.
My bird! Getting right in the decoys, that was cool.
Yeah.
Did you see it? Just getting pelt.
Yeah, I saw you hit it.
Yeah.
The fact that it still landed nice is weird though. All right.
I watched the whole spread. I'm glad I have modified in now. That was cool, right in the decoys.
They look so much bigger when they're flying with their wings out, but it's a good start. We got him.
I shot him 3 times. Up. Nope.
We'll cut it down to 1.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna look like I just ground swatted him. I think he wanted to land because he was hit, but it just wouldn't die.
Yeah. He even landed nice and then was dead on impact.
Yeah. I was so confused. And then when he was on the ground when I shot, the whole spray was on him.
Yeah.
And it's like, why aren't you dead yet? I'm not dead yet. That's relevant.
Tis but a scratch. A scratch? Your wings off.
No, it's not. Oh yeah, lung shot. I would have trailed him. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I shot, the whole spread was around him,
Yeah.
and then he landed, so I think he was like, probably stunned or whatever, and then I shot, the whole spray was around him then, and then he got up and flew away. I go, hey, no! But you said he was actually...
How you doing that?
He was just dead over there?
Yeah.
All right, well, 1 for 1 then on doves. That's good.
Mhm.
I wouldn't stand there. Thank you. That was sweet, right into the decoy though. Now I have hope and faith in this after 4 hours.
It's weird that you only have hope and faith after success.
Yeah. I think it says that in the Bible. I think after...
Once you see him, then you know.
That's not actually funny. The thing about dove hunting for me is we've never been able to do it in the state of Michigan. So when we go and we travel to Ohio, we're only driving like an hour. And it's illegal in the state of Michigan, but it's completely okay in Ohio. Now, we're used to that. We grew up in Michigan, so we used to have to do that with fireworks. Everyone made the run.
Oh, that's right. Good call.
Everyone made the run for fireworks from Michigan because we didn't have any of the good fireworks. But now...
Everyone else.
It was always the factory dad doing it, too.
We didn't do it.
It was always the factory dad.
Yeah.
It was. My Uncle Tom did it. God rest his soul.
Everybody had a guy who rented a box truck.
Yep.
Drove down to Ohio.
Yeah, but he was always weird about collecting the money. Like, you know, everyone's got to pitch in. You know, it isn't free.
If we want to do this.
If we want to do, it's not free. You know, and everyone's got to put in $50.
Kindness of my heart, but you know, it's still good.
I want to do the show for everyone, but this is, you know, everyone's got to kind of chip in. And
It's not UNICEF, all right?
right. And then like, there's always a kid that gets hurt. You know, at that firework thing. I did that with the Insane Clown Posse one year. It's a true story.
Kyle's a huge fan of ICP.
Yeah.
He's a juggalo. Everywhere he goes, he goes whoop whoop.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're
Big
saying.
fan of the Great Malenko.
I legit did this with the Insane Clown Posse one year, and they were cool about chipping in for the fireworks though. But their one daughter fell in the on a sparkler and got burnt up pretty good.
I'll do it.
Yep.
Like actual members from the Insane Clown Posse.
The entire band.
Violent J. No.
And one of
In
their
person.
kids.
Their
got hurt by a
daughter
firework.
specifically, yes. Anyhow, so just like that
hunting.
with the doves,
it's always kind of like a weird thing while you're out there, like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
First of all, it's September, so it's not really hunting season yet. Second of all, you're like, it's so warm that it insists upon itself that it's not hunting season yet. It still feels like summer.
Typically comfortable unless it's raining. And
Just always
which
raining.
seems to always happen to us.
You're also not wearing.
Yeah.
You're
Every
also
time I
not
go.
wearing blaze orange.
Yeah.
So that's
You're
weird.
usually on a tree line, so anytime we're there and we watch a truck go by, it's like, oh, they're gonna see us. Oh, that's right, we're in Ohio.
Not
Never
that-
mind.
It's okay.
Not that as kids we did things where that was our thought process. Not at all. Not whatsoever. But yeah, it's just kind of a weird thing. And the funny thing is that I was looking at some of these facts, and I know we all kind of collected our favorites, so I wanted to go through them a little bit on doves that people might not know. But the estimates since 2003 where there was approximately 194 million doves in the United States, and that was up to September 2020. That was like the last survey that was done, which is an insane amount. And a lot of people don't know this, but like during the breeding season, a lot of times you see groups of 3. Now, when groups of 3 come in, I shoot my 3 shots and drop those doves. Jeff shoots his 3 shots and doesn't drop any doves. But the thing is, no, I'm just kidding. During that breeding season, when you see the 3, what it actually means is that there's one male, and he's normally in the front of it, and he's showing his lady what's up. And then the third one is like kind of like the home wrecker, where he's like trying to break up the family, and he like doesn't care that they have kids. He doesn't care that they mate for life. He's
He's
just
the pool boy.
Right.
He's
Good
the
call.
pool. Yeah, yeah. That's the perfect.
It really is.
I mean, I spent all day racking my brain, and then here you are. Pool boy reference is perfect. That's what that dove is doing. So that's what the third one is. So he's normally an unmated one, and he's chasing his rival from the area where he hopes to nest. So he's hoping to chase him out of there to take the female and, move along. And, but
Hold the old one too.
and that's the thing is like divorce rates are at all-time high. Families are being broken up.
So they're going to capitalize.
Yeah, I mean, so morning.
Taking a shot.
Another thing is mourning doves tend to feed busily on the ground, swallowing seeds and storing them in an enlargement of the esophagus called the crop. So
They eat a lot.
they do. They do. Let me do my facts, thanks. No, just kidding. But the enlargement in the crop that they're talking about is kind of cool because we do it with turkeys too, where you can cut that open when you're cleaning the bird and see what they're eating. And a lot of people do this with waterfowl as well. So what they'll do is they'll cut open that crop, check out what's in there, and then they'll use that information to be like, oh, this is what they're feeding on right now, and start hitting those fields. So if there's a lot of corn, okay, what cornfields are nearby? Because that's probably where they're frequenting, and that's where they're getting a lot of their food from. So
Another fun fact, this one's pretty well known, but amongst people who don't usually hunt birds, it's not very well known. You'll find rocks and whatnot in the crop, and that's because they don't chew their food, obviously. So they'll pick grit, and the rocks will mush up their food.
going in with
It's like
it.
a mill.
no, they're
Yeah.
like Ryan's sister when she threw up that one time, and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
You eat rocks.
Here's a fun... Dude, you should have seen the amount of rocks she threw up. It was crazy. No. We were on vacation in North Carolina. She must have been like 6, 7 years old.
Old enough to know better.
Old enough to, for sure.
Okay.
And she just randomly, she's like, I don't feel good, puked. And earlier that night, we had lemon zest spaghetti or something like that. And I'm standing next to her. Our parents, my parents hadn't gotten there yet from her puking. And I'm like looking at this pile of puke, and I'm like, she did not chew one bite of food. Those are like full spaghetti noodles. And
Dad
then
lost his keys. There's the keys.
sorry,
my poor sister.
sorry, little Elizabeth. We apologize for bringing this up.
Another fun fact about the crop is when they mate, they actually make milk, but it's not like mammal milk. They actually make milk in their crop with what they've eaten, and then water, and then they regurgitate that like birds do for their babies.
Oh,
true.
Yeah.
The vessel.
Bodybuilders use it to take their HGH. I'm just kidding. That reminds me of the movie Pain and Gain. But
Need a pump.
yeah. So once they filled their crop, and by the way, the record for that is 17,200 bluegrass seeds in one single fat honky dove crop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
17,200. So
Imagine being the guy going through counting them, just like some intern.
He's got a weighing scale.
he wears glasses. He wears that kit that AJ wears when he does his UFO thing. AJ
Magnifying glasses.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
this is
yes.
He looks like a dentist.
Yeah.
So anyhow, they can fly in safe perch to digest their meal. So once they're done eating, they'll go up and then digest when they're in the tree and kind of
they're
chill.
just collecting when you see them eating.
Yeah, they're not actually swallowing anything. They're just getting the process going.
Kind of like cows
Chipmunks.
chewing their cud.
Or Jeff at a buffet.
Yeah. He
That ain't a
he
thing.
does this thing. Well,
Why-
he
why you
eats
hurt me?
earlier, then later he comes back and chews it.
What's he doing? I'll leave him alone. He's digesting.
But they do actually eat 12 to 20% of their body weight each day. So
Yeah.
roughly 71 calories on average. So that would be like a human being eating like, I don't know. What do you eat, Jeff?
That's a lot of calories.
Yeah,
For a tiny little guy.
Yeah.
for a tiny little dude.
20% of your weight. So if you weighed 100 pounds, you'd be eating 20 pounds a day.
That's a lot.
Holy crap!
40 pounds.
And that
For most people, for most men, it'd be
40
pounds.
pounds. Good lord.
they're also pretty
and then
resilient.
fly away.
Yeah, fly away home.
They're also pretty resilient too. They can fly away. You imagine trying to walk with that. You know what I mean?
40 extra pounds.
But they're resilient. They can live in the desert too, which is also pretty
I
cool.
mean, and so they can live in the desert, and they make their way to South America. I mean, you've seen pictures of those hunts where they just use swarms of. It's got to be millions of them, and those hunts down there, you bring an assortment of guns, and you have a guy standing next to you that you hire that loads the gun for you while you're shooting.
You're the guitar
and then,
tech.
and then you switch the gun out and keep shooting. But something that makes them so resilient and be able to do those long journeys and survive so well is they can drink brackish water. So
Really?
brackish water
That's
is
bonkers.
salty and fresh water that's
Yeah.
mixed, and they say that they can drink brackish water up to half salinity.
Of like
So-
the ocean?
So 50-50 salt or
Yeah.
half solidity of what the ocean is.
Wow.
Yeah,
Holy
which is
cow.
crazy.
That's a lot of salt.
And they don't get dehydrated from that?
Nope. They
was
can.
my
They do
guess.
just fine.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Probably
So-
something to do with the crap.
They have like a built-in life straw.
Yeah.
in the milk.
Built-in life straw. Yeah.
The thing that blows my mind about not only about their range, but the fact that every year hunters go through and they'll take out 20 million of them, and that doesn't impact the population.
20 mil?
They're still growing
From
year
us?
after year. Yeah, this is nuts.
Yeah, with all
That's
the
a
pool
lot.
boys running around, they're always. It's like-
You take out the extra, or you take out the originally extra steps right in.
knowing that it's normally not the leader in the pack, it makes me want to kill that 2-timing hussy in the middle and then the third one in the back. Like from now
We're
on,
hoping you're getting
when
that
a group
one.
of 3 doves come in, I'm going for the pool boy.
After you, sir, not you.
after you, good sir. I mean, he's not great to her, and he comes home pretty crabby, and he gets mad when she doesn't have dinner ready. But
He's
at the
out
same time,
all day
he
collecting
works-
seeds.
He works so hard. It's
He's getting blown away.
They actually will sit on their babies. They take shifts. They'll do morning and then night, so they do it about 50-50.
and yet she gives the
Still complains
pool boy,
about the housework.
and she gives the pool boy just enough that he still follows. You know what
yeah.
I mean? She always just keeps him right there. It's messed up.
He's always
He's at
migrating.
home protecting the eggs, and she's out with the pool boy.
Yeah, it makes me sick.
Rude.
Nature's metal.
And
You kicked him out.
the fact that they do mate for life, and the fact that there is that many, it is also interesting that how long they live. So
Yeah.
the oldest known mourning dove was a male, and he lived to be at least 30 years and 4 months old.
Wow.
And he was shot in Florida in 1998.
Dang.
nuts.
He was
It-
banded in Georgia in 1968.
Wow.
You gotta think that like maybe he passed it down. You know.
He's like,
or-
he's
yeah,
like, no,
it's a
they made for
crazy-
life.
You're my
They made for
son.
life. Maybe he gave it to her as a ring. You know what I mean? Like to show his affection.
Or in real life, maybe it is a crazy prank where someone shot the banded one and then moved it. Someone found a way to move it over to a new one.
Bending metal.
Could be.
Yeah, I like their call though. I like their sound. I think that's what gets them going. You know what I mean? That's,
Which I didn't know, but those are only the males. The
Really?
males are the ones who do the cooing.
That's like the aggressive thing.
Yeah.
and
What,
she
like
still
part of the
cheats.
dance?
That's I just keep going no matter what I go back.
Which is funny. Growing up as a kid, the outside my bedroom, the roof slanted down, so it was a perfect place for those mourning doves to come land. And in the summertime, they would wake me up sitting there cooing.
Yep.
And I got up. My parents tell the story better, but I guess I got up in a rage one time. Came downstairs. I hate those birds. What birds? And they're like the ones up there that are doing that, the cooing, just freaking out about. They're like, you mean the beautiful songbirds that every morning come and
We paid
do
for
their
them to
night?"
come here.
Yeah. So I used to have they used to be my mortal enemy.
They're not.
Never
they're,
took them out.
They're not very aggressive, but every once in a while you'll see two of them kind of like this is my food. You get out of here.
Oh, really?
And they'll do that. They'll and they'll like come at me, bro.
Which is
like
funny.
puff up
Come
their
at me.
chest.
So as the people saw earlier, you made a comment about the size of them, how much larger they look when they're flying versus when you're holding them. When you're holding them, they are the tiniest little thing in your hand, and give a
They look
decent
like
amount of meat.
Yeah, they look like plump basketballs flying though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, they flap their wings so fast, and there's so much feather action going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chris Scrant, the guy that we went with,
The person.
The human.
the human.
The guy that lived. Okay, go ahead.
Anyhow, he kept saying this thing whenever we would see a bird. He's like, "Well, are the wings going down and up or up and down?" And I could not gather whether that's a real thing or not. I don't know if he was trying to mess with us.
Is a joke.
That sounds like
They're
a
going
joke.
up
You sound like
and-
an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't responding like it was a joke.
Yeah, I don't acknowledge bad
It's
jokes.
because he didn't get it
I'm
at
just
the
kidding.
time. When he thinks it's a joke, but he doesn't get it, he just doesn't laugh. He's stone faced.
Just ignores.
I don't do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't do
Well,
that.
I
I
did
get
that.
everything.
Or he'll laugh like too much. Everyone else is like, haha, but he's trying to overcompensate because he doesn't get the joke. So he'll aggressively laugh to
get
make
it.
sure you know that he gets it.
Now we covered the distribution of
Nice.
we covered the distribution of them, but it's pretty widespread across Central America and the United States and Southern Canada. Do you know the exact numbers? That was like your one job.
Everywhere from like 194 million up to like 350 million, depending on who you ask, the year, how well they did, how well the hunt did that year. But it's many millions, hundreds of millions.
Well, luckily, some things are a little bit more trackable, and that is the hunters and then the effects that they have on the economy in that area. So I was reading on this. I'm going to read these because it's a lot to remember. But in 2006, 20,000 dove hunters would contribute $6.9 million to the Iowa economy. So just in Iowa alone, 20,000 dove hunters took the field, and they generated $462,000 in state sales tax revenue and generated 90 jobs within the state. And you can also look at all the other benefits that they had. That's just sales tax. When you look at the self-excise tax that we have through the Pittman-Robertson Act, then you've got that money for the ammunition they bought, the camouflage that they're wearing, pretty much everything except for the dip. That's everything is also generating income to help with conservation and stuff. But that just at the state level, that's an impact that you could tell people about and be pretty proud of. In Texas, based on the 2005 survey conducted by the U.S. Census Bureau and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service by Southwick and Associates, Texas dove hunting was annually valued at $177 million in retail sales alone, and an overall economic impact of $316 million. Texas dove hunting produces 3,144 jobs in the private sector and $21 million in local sales tax revenue.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
That's
a lot.
Big industry all by itself.
Now, the craziest thing about it is, like, you see that and you're like, oh, geez, are the doves going to survive? And that's the thing with how many there are and how widespread they are and how they operate. With how many are killed, it's not even making a dent.
They're so aggressive with how they nest too. They have to put up those. You ever see those things on top of people's like mailboxes or underneath their
the
awnings,
spikes.
the little spikes, and they'll go around and collect enough grass to fill in those spikes, and then nest on top of them anyways.
Oh,
Anywhere where they find it's like sheltered from the rain, because like in nature you won't necessarily find, oh, no rain comes in here. Oh, that's really good against wind. You only get kind of. So when they find a good spot, they're gonna nest there, and you can do whatever you want. They know it's a fake owl. They don't care.
They don't. No, they've never been scared of them. They're laughing.
And he's referring to, like, people put up like owls and like fake ones to try and scare them away. Like, hey, I'm gonna kill and eat you.
Predator decoy.
Yeah, they don't give it.
That's my buddy.
They don't care.
In Mississippi, 2011, dove hunts in Mississippi range from $100 to $500 per day. Landowners earn between $85 to $300 per acre on dove fields. Landowners and outfitters derive profits over a 2 to 3 week time period. And Mississippi DNR lists this info under economic incentives. So basically what they're saying is there's all this money raised in Mississippi as well, where these landowners have, a lot of time it'll be sunflower fields. That's like the sunflower fields are like the top dog for attracting doves. But they'll have these fields, and this is like another way that it kind of stimulates the economy, is like having these different like people being able to lease fields and stuff like that. So it's just other ways for people to help with their property values and help their families and generate income that way. So that's kind of interesting too.
So my understanding with this whole thing is it's kind of managed like waterfowl, how it's on a federal level. There's a decent amount of control, and then it goes down to the state level.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
There's like a framework, and then you have to decide what yours is inside the framework.
Right. And they're managed under the Federal Migratory Bird Treaty Act, which I think there's a few different within this treaty. There's a few different countries involved. I know at one point Japan was involved in this treaty, which I don't really understand. Maybe
different birds migrate in different directions.
Yeah,
I see a lot of birds on Japanese art. Maybe there's
I can't imagine anything flying from, because like birds don't know like lines between nations. They don't get borders. They're just moving. So in order to protect
the
them,
Canada goose.
in order to protect them, they'll all the countries that are involved in the path of their migration, they'll make some kind of treaty. I can't imagine. Japan had to have been getting migratory birds from the mainland or just up and down Canada.
Yeah, and we have a treaty with Russia as well, which makes sense because Alaska, Russia, Sarah Palin can see the place from her house.
A lot of birds up there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of want to get into why, with all these numbers, the amount of money it brings in, why don't we have this in Michigan?
They have it in almost every other state.
40 or 50.
And everybody does, it's different from state to state, but most have something from September, usually 1st. Sometimes it's a little bit later in September, sometimes through January. And people will do like 60-day seasons.
If you do 60 days, you're allowed to get 15, right?
You're allowed to get 15 a day for 60-day seasons, or they'll do 70-day seasons. You're allowed to get 12.
So then the state looks at that and says, okay, then we'll allow it based on that information.
Yeah, and then it also depends on, the population the previous year, how well the hunt did, whether there was some kind of weird sickness that impacted a lot of birds. So like all the science goes into it and makes a lot of different, makes their decision for them.
But
basically.
Even so with that, they're not denting the population.
No, absolutely not.
Right.
They could take out half of them, and within 5-6 years, they'd be fine.
Right.
Maybe
Especially
not.
when they're living to be 30 years old and reproducing that whole time.
Yeah.
They're
And-
hard to hit.
Exactly.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah. So the reason why we don't have it in Michigan as of right now is because we voted against it. The state put it up for
A
vote
The old
for the
vote.
people.
in 2006, right?
Yeah, and
I was
remember,
7.
Yeah.
I remember it coming up.
I was 7
In our
years old.
lifetime, has it ever been legal? Like
I
on
don't
Not in
know.
our
our, I
specific
don't think in our lifetime.
Okay.
No, I just know that they put it up to a ballot because they were talking about making it legal in 2006. They were talking about Michigan specifically, our home state.
Yeah.
And when they put it up to the ballot, I remember talking to my dad about it because I was just in high school at the time, and he's like, "This isn't going to work because do 50% of the population in Michigan hunt? Possibly, but not all of them hunt doves. So it ain't going to work.
Right.
Well, like you said, your parents said, "Oh, those nice little
Right.
songbirds." Like,
Yeah.
if you don't hunt, that's all you think of the birds as. You don't think of like any kind of impact they might have, or
Or the fact that they're a game bird.
Yeah.
They're on the box of, like, you go to the
yeah.
store and buy shells. Ted Nugent says it all the time. They are a game bird. You look at the box of shells, there is a dove on it because you're supposed to hunt them. They are made of meat that we like to consume. I hate that it's like almost like the songbird or, they don't need to kill them or anything. Who are you? It's like, okay, where do we draw the line? Anything that's cute's off limits. Well,
Yeah.
they're pretty cute, and I slaughter them by the hundreds.
Well,
Not
the-
really,
the-
but...
the thing that people don't think about is like we as people change our environment around us so aggressively. We put up malls, we put up whatever else we're going to put up. We change the environment. We've changed it so much we can't just leave it to animals to just fend for themselves and be okay. Things end up going wrong. So the best way to make sure that these populations of different species are controlled and protected is to make sure you treat them like a renewable resource, gets more people to care about them and actually understand them, and not just
The other thing,
At the end of the day, it should be as simple as there's enough of them, there will be enough of them, hunting will not hurt the population, and I want to eat them.
And revenue.
so that's my biggest thing is the revenue part of it. We have the population, we have the way to manage it. However, we don't have the people who are educated in understanding it, and we don't know. I don't think we have a good idea of how good it would be for our state economy. And I think it would be good because think about early September. What are we doing? We're
doing nothing.
Exactly. And how much of our state is farm fields? A good majority of it.
Right.
So that's a lot of land farmers could put up for lease, and a lot of jobs and a lot of sales tax that could be brought in, and the licenses and.
Right. And that benefits a lot of other species too. It's not just
it benefits
the dove.
other species, and it could create a decent amount of jobs, or extend the period that outfitters are working because the season starts so early in the year. Now they can work from the beginning of September or the end of August or whatever they decide the dates are, all the way through whenever.
Now we've talked about this too, and this is kind of a difficult situation for us. But listen, they put it up to a public vote. Why are we putting things up to a public vote that are supposed to be based on science? That's the first question. I think it failed with like 23% or something like that. Said we're pro to do it. The rest were either a non-vote or didn't want to vote.
Actually understood.
Right. So only 23% of people are like, hell yes, let's go get them. So because of that, it didn't pass. But here's the thing: we want to trust the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, to make these laws and make these seasons based on science a renewable resource. This is something that is made out of meat that people like to hunt. They like to eat it. There's plenty of them. This would be the season. This would be the parameters. This would be the impact on the population. This would be the impact on the economy. Yes, makes sense. Check box. But here's the thing. The DNR doesn't always do things that we agree with. We've talked about the sandhill cranes in Michigan before. You know, if they made it, there's plenty of them. They should make a season where they sell licenses. Those licenses would go towards the conservation, and it would be great. Instead, they have it where they issue kill tags to farmers for crop damage, and then the farmers can kill them, but they're not allowed to eat them. They have to burn them. Anytime you start saying things like this, it should
legally have to waste them.
Because otherwise you're using them like a resource. How dare you? When their entire job is supposed to be based on that. We have a bait ban in Michigan as of this year, 2021. We had a bait ban in the state of Michigan because the governor decided we should have it because she doesn't know anything about deer hunting. So, you know, we trust the DNR to make these decisions, but they don't always make the right decisions. But then if we leave it up to the public vote, that's going to be based on emotion and not fact. So there's almost no correct answer, and how to make sure that all the answers that are decided are the correct ones that actually make sense.
I think our goal as a company, and specifically in the state of Michigan, is to educate people on, if this ever comes to public vote again, I want it to be understood throughout the state that this is a game bird. It's on, like you said, it's on the box. We have a plethora of them. I seriously think the amount of money it would make, especially in the first year, everybody would want to go do this.
Yeah.
And if you're leasing the land, I think it would be a grand slam success. And like you were saying with the cranes, we're not allowed to hunt cranes, but farmers can kill them. Well, why can't we hunt them? Because they say so. Well, how about if you want to limit the amount of them that are killed, let's do
a season, raise money.
We'll do 300 can be killed a year, and it's a lottery, and to buy in costs $1,000.
People would pay it.
People would pay it. People would love to pay it.
$1,000's a little steep, but
I'm just saying, people would do it.
And that money would go to help the species. It would help to create habitat. And if not, if the species is doing well, like the dove, that money would then go to help other species who aren't doing as well as the dove. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, and unfortunately they don't seem to get it. But you know, the one thing that we do have in Michigan is pigeon hunting, and I know in the second part of this episode too, what you guys are watching, we do get into some pigeons. Of course, that was right after you left, which is hilarious because I had a great shoot. But let's get back.
And that adorable dog.
Yep. Get back to the action.
I think this actually looks pretty good now. Driving out, we've seen like 100 of them, so now that we're set up, probably won't see another one. No, I think it'll be good. There's a storm blowing in, and Chris said that when it's like getting ready to rain, they like to move around right before. And is this two right here? Right here. Yep.
There's two right here also. Oh, never. No.
Oh, here comes one. Right in. Right in. Right in. Right in. Right in.
You got him.
They don't like fold up like ducks. Like you're never quite sure.
There you go. Holy doves.
You think he sees them all? Oh, here we go.
Got him.
Where'd the one drop? It's funny that pigeons are looked at like the dirty step cousins of the doves, you know? And they were actually brought over here in the 1600s, and they were brought here as a source of food. They're actually like great eating, and they would keep them like farmed, like kind of like what we do chickens, but a lot of them got out, escaped, and now they're just, you know, everywhere and considered to some as an invasive species. And they're on these silos in these high areas, because obviously they're on a farm full of food, but they actually, in Europe, lived on like seaside cliffs. Honestly, I can't taste the difference between those and doves, and they're just bigger. So there's more meat, and they're a little bigger and easier to shoot too, so I think they're pretty good.
Well, what happened last night, we've had a lot of these crop fields taken off recently,
Yeah.
so we haven't had any rain in quite a while. Last night it rained, maybe a little too hard, but it'll make the grains right up to the top, you know.
Oh, they like
It
come up.
uncovers the dust and everything and
Yeah.
finds that. So the birds will feed hard today, and we had a...
It's a lot
you know,
cooler today
yeah,
too.
Yeah, it's 20 degrees cooler than it was yesterday, so...
And that gets them moving like a deer almost.
Yeah, yep. So the drier it gets, you know, you see these big mud puddles and stuff.
Yeah.
A dove can't hop; they have to walk.
Right.
So think about how much of a pain it is for you to walk in the mud.
Yeah. So
when
they don't.
it dries up a little on the top, they'll feed. They're way more active.
Makes sense.
So
You ever seen a timberdoodle walk? They're like,
now I have,
Yeah.
I guess.
yeah.
I've seen
Now
it
you
now.
yeah.
I've seen it
Now
now.
you've seen it all. That was the last thing on the list.
Yeah. So right now, I thought we'd shoot some of these early and.
Yeah, I'll take some pigeons. Yeah, this one's gonna come right over me.
Good boy, here. Fetch him up. Good boy, here.
Woo!
Here, good boy, drop him. They like those silos, you know, if you look at it, it's the highest, barest thing around.
Yeah.
So they can see danger, they can get up high, and there's always feed around there, always
Yeah.
seeds. You know, the cows don't digest everything, so there's always seeds in the manure, you know.
Yep. This one's gonna get it big time.
Yeah, I believe he's gonna. You gotta kill that. Good boy, here. Good boy.
It's sort of tougher when they're that close because your spread doesn't have time to open up.
Fetch. Come on.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Heads up.
Come
Chris.
on, come on, come on, come on.
This one,
Come on.
one behind us and.
Did you hit it?
Nope.
Okay.
That was a little tough. Oh, that would be nice, but I can't shoot yet.
Not yet, but you're about
Oh, this
to.
one's gonna give a shot. A couple went behind us that hadn't before.
Good.
When they're that close,
Oh, man.
when they're that close, everyone will make fun of you if you miss. But
Here
your
you go.
spread's so tiny at that distance that you're like, please don't miss.
He wants to, that's a dove.
Yeah, that was a dove.
Yep. He's coming back. He's coming right behind us.
Yep. I got behind us, you got in front of us. All right.
He's gonna circle and go
No,
out.
he's going the other way. Looks like you owe him money, Chris. Something you want to tell us? Heads up, guys. Ready? Right here.
Let him come in and Good boy.
Thank you.
Good
You can call me
boy.
Kyle, but oh, you're talking to the dog.
Can't see.